He needs some of those neutrinos.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
You are really in a hurry to die all alone, aren't you?
Hello and good evening. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 6, Off Hour. First aired today in 2026, but here in 2026 on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version, wherever you get your podcasts, our mission to watch every episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds continues. This is your captain speaking, coming from Lake Ontario. I am your host, Dave Mader. Tonight's episode shifts Strange New Worlds back into full disaster movie mode. A routine off-duty moment becomes a warp core disaster when the Enterprise is pushed past its limits, forcing Chapel and the crew into a race against time. We've got a top-tier panel here to break down this high-pressure, genre-bending episode. Coming in first, he has turned into every visual cue that sells the disaster movie framing. Explosions, lighting shifts, and escalating tension of a ship pushed past its limits. If the camera tells the story, Jim is already tracking it. It is Jim, the casual Nolent.
Hello, everyone. First off, thank you to everybody that commented on our last stream for Strange New Worlds. And I have a question for them. For those that either only watched like 10 minutes or didn't watch it at all, what's it like to be happy? Just out of curiosity, just asking for a friend, you know. Yeah. Today, this episode was interesting, I'll say.
It was interesting. That's not necessarily good or bad. It's just sort of a little bit of both. Okay, let's check in with our next panelist, a fellow Canuck. He is following the motives, the resources, the economics of crisis, emergency power, warp core strain, and the cost of pushing a starship beyond its operational threshold. If someone is hiding the real danger, he's found the leak. It is Adam Woodward.
Good afternoon. Good evening, guys. How are you? Hey, Dave, I got to tell you, Jim, I got to tell you, I flew out of Toronto this morning and watched the sunrise over Lake Ontario, and it was something to see,
Wasn't it? And I just watched the sunset over Lake Ontario, Adam. And
I saw your picture of the moon, rising over Lake Ontario tonight.
That's right. So, the blood moon, and it turned into a harvest moon.
Do you know it's a lunar eclipse tonight as well?
Oh, wow. Yeah, there is, isn't there? Right.
Yep. It may be a sign that a great crime has been committed against the nation, but who am I to say?
It just keeps getting better and better every day.
Every friggin' day. Like, who needs a science fiction show when you got the president of the United States? But Jim, what do you have to say for your government?
Every day between that and talking to you all, and not to mention all the other crazy people we have supporting, I guess, women who lose a screw and do something very, very, very terrible. Every day I am more and more tempted to move to Canada. I am not gonna lie.
You're welcome.
We will welcome you. We will welcome you. Jim, we can use a few good men and women and non-binary.
Yeah. Can I just go ahead and get like an honorary Canadian thing, because I'm kind of sick of all the bullshit down here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of sick of it.
I think we need to invade. is where I'm leaning towards that. But like they'll never see it coming at him. Like but
Yeah,
let's
for a second.
yeah,
let's be fair. Now would be the right time to do it.
yeah, they're a little distracted, so maybe
A
just-
little.
We just passed burning of the White House Day a few weeks ago, or was it last week? In the War of 1812 when the British burnt down the White House. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I think that is. Yeah, you're right.
But what have they done for us lately? Like the British. So come on,
They're on our side.
let's get it going again. Like, hey, if you want to do that again, I'm all for it.
No, I don't.
All right.
So, Dave, let's get the topic at hand here.
Strange New Worlds.
I'm going to go way further than Jim. Interesting is not. This was a movie quality episode for me. It was fantastic. Disaster movie. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah, like in terms of like they're trying to do something different with every episode in the show, which is I think can be sort of gimmicky for some, or and if you are in that school of thought or in that camp, you might look at this as an episode of 24. Done, so in a sense, because it's got the whole clock, and it's real time. It's literally 1 hour. From the start of the crisis to the end of it.
It was closest to an old episode, like timing that we've seen in some time, like a 42-minute. Remember that 42-minute mark? What you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was a good episode. Like again, it's a prequel, so the part of me is like, Mbenga can't die, so nothing bad will happen here. Like if he was actually like on the board to die, like I think the episode would be better. So that's my only problem with it. But I think like as a self-contained story, it's a good story. It's well done. The effects look good. I like the direction of the episode. I like the split screen stuff. I guess the other reason I think it's kind of like 24 because that's what 24 always used to do too.
But if you don't know that, if you don't like 24 is like now a decade or more than that, 15 years.
Yeah.
That show came out in 2001.
Okay, all right. So 20 years. So 25 years. My gosh.
And it went on for what, 8 seasons or something?
Yeah. But if you don't know that, and
it's like what people used to tell me, like all these Tarantino movies were just ripoffs of like these old Hong Kong movies. I'm like, I've never seen these old Hong Kong movies. What do I do? So,
but man, it had the everything great about a disaster movie was in that hour or 40 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. It was a good episode on its own. I guess with the past few episodes, maybe I'm just being a little bit bitter. I mean, this was maybe a turn in the right direction. I have a few nitpicks, but ignoring the nitpicks and some of the other stuff, yeah, it was a decent episode. It was, I would say, going back to traditional Star Trek. And yes, I can't lie, I do love a good disaster episode. So I'm still on the fence. I'm gonna compile my thoughts during tonight and come up with a better impression than what I had when I was thinking about it today, I'm sure.
I just literally 10 minutes ago finished it, and because like I said, I was flying this morning, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. So it was compelling to me. It was great.
It was good. We got Worldmind in the chat saying he can't make it tonight, fellas, but this was an incredible episode and very much the opposite of what I originally thought it would be last week. Given the fates aside, this episode is a 10.
Wow.
So Worldmind's all for it. I think it was good too. The other thing that I think was a big thing for me in the episode was the return of Dr. Boyce, Dr. Phil Boyce, who Adam, you may remember, was in that original Jeffrey Hunter pilot.
Yeah.
And was presented in that pilot as being like Pike's best friend and drinking buddy, right? His bartender and his doctor. If you recall, Jim.
Yeah, I do.
And they've decided to reimagine Boyce as more of this curmudgeon-y jerk doctor who kind of left the ship because he was rubbing people the wrong way. And the actor that they brought in to play him, he's played many characters on Star Trek.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the actor off the top of my head, but he's like he was like the Vidian when like he was the human and the Vidian on Voyager who like got his face taken off in that Faces episode, or he was also in that Deep Space Nine episode that was saying like, do you submit to the soulless minions of orthodoxy? You get into my cellular regeneration and entertainment center. Like he's a good actor and he's quite whimsical, but he's been in a ton of Star Trek. So they brought him in here to play Dr. Boyce. You know, I don't know if he has any resemblance to the original actor whatsoever, but you know,
kind of sorta. I don't know if he was I never got like curmudgeon like the way you described him. I got very professional, very focused on the job at hand. Not nearly as friendly or helping out people, camaraderie style like Mbenga does. But
less of a bedside manner.
Yeah. I think that's a better way of putting it.
Yeah, like maybe a little closer to a McCoy. I'm not sure. And we'll see. We'll see what they do with Boyce as this plays out. But Boyce, he was here for all the years like that. Robert April was captain.
Yes,
as well. So curious about that. He was wearing a pin on his tunic.
Yeah.
What's that pin? Why does he have it? What does it mean? So we can talk about that on that shot as well. Otherwise, I don't have a lot else to say about the episode other than I thought it was good. Okay, I guess the whole thing with these neutrinos, like the way that they get out of the disaster. That what was it called? Like high impact or
heavy neutrinos.
Heavy neutrinos.
Heavy neutrinos.
Okay,
they fix everything.
They do.
Apparently
you can fill up your gas tank and you can bring someone back from basically paralysis and death.
Yeah,
this sort of magic. And
okay, pardon me, his name is Brian Markinson. Pardon me, this guy, I didn't recognize him actually. They did something to him. He was in Mad Men as well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was in Mad Men. Yeah,
I recognize him, but for the life of me I couldn't name a show that he was on. Like you recognize the voice, but you just like you can't quite make the connection. Like that was me the entire time. Whenever he was on screen, like I know this guy.
Yeah. I'll add some things to the fun facts on this guy because he's got some stuff.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, good episode, I guess. Like other than back to that whole neutrino thing. I'm like, can neutrinos really heal? Is this even a theoretical thing, or is this just something for the show?
It was even a theoretical thing in the show because the lead-in is that it was from when Mbenga had his daughter, and it was supposed to be like one of those really out there solutions for her disease. And I guess like Chapel like flat out says it's all just theoretical. And
right.
I guess
even the particle or whatever, the neutrino itself was kind of theoretical, right? So whatever. They have to wrap it up. It's an hour, guys. It's the off hour, so they got to figure it out.
I'll allow the MacGuffin.
But that was sort of like the only part I kind of raised an eyebrow. I go, what? Like they felt like they got the neutrinos, and then they can do two things at once. Okay, that's handy. So
they're man. There's a lot of stuff on heavy neutrinos, but I'm not going to bring them into fun facts because it's too much.
You're just like Pelia. You never studied particle physics.
Never studied particle theory.
Yeah. So hey. We'll have to find one of those for the panel one day. Okay. Well,
maybe a fun to find it like somebody to be able to talk in a real
scientific manner about Star Trek science.
No, not in a scientific manner. Like in a manner that we can understand.
Yeah, well, they have to be like more like Ray from Ghostbusters than Egon from Ghostbusters. Yeah, be able to explain these things to us. But all right. Well, with that said, let's go to screenshots.
In the YouTube reviewing community, there are two separate but equal entities. The people reviewing the show and the screenshots they have to use because of YouTube's bullshit copyright system. These are those screenshots.
Okay, so let's get into it. So we start here. with the shipboard chronometer at 47 minutes. Why is it at 47? No specific reason. Why would Star Trek pick such a number? Counting down, it's getting ready for the weekend, I think is what's happening. Like the Alpha shift is going to get like a weekend off while Beta shift has to take over.
So I think they
Yeah.
said here too, it was like sort of give us a clue of what's going on here. They must have like 12-hour shifts because I think she said it was almost 9 o'clock or something, like 2,100 hours.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like, gotta have 3 shifts, right? Like, I would think.
know.
But
Yeah, according to Jellicoe, it should be 4 shifts.
well, Jellicoe likes 4. That's true.
Yeah.
What, is something wrong with Delta shift, Will? There is no Delta shift. So they're heading to this this rendezvous to get out some time off. Then we head down to sick bay where we get Mbenga and Chapel talking. This is where Mbenga reveals that he's thinking about leaving the Enterprise to go somewhere else. I guess back up a second. He also reveals that Dr. Boyce is coming back, like because Chapel wants to talk about Dr. Boyce as well first. She knows Dr. Boyce and she doesn't like Dr. Boyce really, and and so she thinks Boyce coming back is a threat to Mbenga's position as CMO. But we find out that it was Mbenga himself that requested that Boyce come. And that he trusts him as a doctor, and Chapel is still not a permanent member of the Enterprise crew. She's technically here on sort of I don't know, like some kind of exchange program or something.
Yeah.
And so if he leaves, then where will she go? And like he's like, well, you're never really. He says it in a way that bothered her. He's like, you always have a plan of escape, an escape route.
One foot out the door.
1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
She does not like this, but we'll come back to that.
Can you go back to like I think it's did you guys notice this? One more. There it is. That little deflector dish on the wall. I never saw that before.
Oh.
No, I didn't notice it.
It must do medical
Something?
scanning.
You must.
It must.
Perhaps. All right. So down in engineering, we see Scotty. He's also getting ready to take the weekend off. He's leaving it with this guy. I guess this is the beta shift engineer guy. He's not going to have a good day. We'll get to him. So they could check everything out. There's something weird here in the engineering settings that Scotty does notice. I guess maybe the only precursor to the disaster itself, but it's such a subtle little clue. It's hardly worth noting on. But Scotty does notice it. So he leaves it with Buddy here to sort of investigate down in engineering as Scotty heads off here at minute 44. Up in the ready room, Captain Pike is briefing a lieutenant about, taking the command of the shift for beta shift while Pike is gone. So you have the con, and Erica and Uhura are all excited to head off here with the rest of Alpha shift. But then that lieutenant who was taking command, she noticed that something's off with the telemetry. Something's really weird, and we better investigate, which is ruining Erica and Uhura's weekend plans, which is not exciting them, because they have to go and look at this. They're going to find out really soon. Meanwhile, down in we finally get a name for this place. They called it the Port Lounge, right? Like the whole episode, like down in the Port Lounge. What I've been calling like their 10 forward, their lounge. They have this piano player, a Bolian piano player, around this bar, and they keep saying the Port Lounge to the bridge, the Port Lounge to sick bay. So this, I guess, is the Port Lounge.
Well, I'm assuming a ship that size would have to have a port side lounge and a starboard side lounge.
I suppose so. Yeah, it's not at the front of the ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're all clapping for the piano player. Scotty's taking a turbo lift up, and then beta shift engineer calls him over the comm to say, hey, there's like something weird with these readings. Have a look. And Scotty looks on his pad and very quickly realizes that they're about to get sucked into this slipstream, this sort of wormhole. And he says, shut down the engines immediately, even without telling the bridge. There's no time to even do anything here. So the engineer does try to initiate that, but it's basically already too late. Because there's more that as this is about to happen in sickbay, we have Chapel and Mbenga kind of arguing about these comments that he made about you always having one foot out the door and her being a little flighty, and she doesn't like those comments. And then she starts wanting to, she says at one point, like, there's all kinds of things I could say about you, but I don't say those things.
This is like an argument that you just don't want to have, and they can see this frustration between, and they're not mad at each other, but it's seeming that way, and it just not good.
It seemed like Chapel just assumed that Mbenga would be around for a long while, and that was at the time, like, or before now, her reason for saying it, because they have a history together. So it gives her more incentive to stay. And now that he's leaving, she's got to try and like figure out what to do on her own. And it's like it's scaring her, and maybe her reacting angrily. I'll say angrily is knee-jerk reaction, overcompensating for real feelings.
Yeah, well, she's mad that he might have. I think he hit a nerve is really what it comes down to, right? And criticizing, and they're having this argument around this like table in sickbay, which becomes a problem in a moment when they have to, when they finally get sucked into the vortex, because as Scotty predicted, here they go into the slipstream. So they go from standard warp, which is shown as being sort of like this white bluish kind of field, into this very chaotic red field. We see their shields and everything else is sort of like almost on fire immediately once they're inside of this, because there's.
And Dave, I really liked how you can't do it in the screenshots, but the ship was tumbling at some point. And
oh yeah, like it was like coming around here. And
admittedly, a very, very cool shot.
Yeah,
like
great visuals.
It was a great shot.
It looked cinematic for sure. The bridge is getting messed up in the process as they get pulled in here. Electricity starts shooting across the bridge. I think Pike's like relief lieutenant here, she gets shot first. I don't know if she ever made it or not. And every console on the bridge is like basically electrified, and they can't touch anything, but they need to activate the shields or it's going to get a lot worse really quickly. So Pike takes one for the team and goes after the console, knowing he's got to get electrocuted, and pushes the button, getting zapped across and taking him out for the count right away. Knocking him unconscious. So he'll be back. Meanwhile, Scotty's in the turbo lift and there's electricity flying around him. But finally, I guess when Pike activated the shields, he's able to touch things again. But nothing's working. He can't. The turbo lift won't move, won't leave. Good.
You good, Dave?
No, that wasn't me.
I was moving things around. Sorry.
Oh, Adam, sorry.
I know. Yeah.
sorry. With Pike, making the decision to reach up and say screw it and just hit that button. I think he clearly by now he's embraced the fact that he knows when something is going to happen. His future. So it's like he knows he's going to survive this.
Well, I know he's going to survive it too. So
character-wise, he knows. So
this was my favorite part of the episode. So we go down to engineering, and like that guy who was covering for Scotty, like the lieutenant, he has to seal off engineering because the radiation hits their entire section. They're all dying of radiation sickness, and we see a few of them are trying to crawl out as the door's coming down. Like they weren't doing any Jody LaForge barrel rolls or anything like that. I think only one of them gets out.
One gets out.
One gets out. Like not even that guy who pressed the button. I think he got trapped inside. So like I think a lot of the engineering staff died. Like quite a few.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, no, don't close the door.
But this is where it makes it a little cinematic because you don't typically see crew members die on episodes aside from the original series.
Well, they are red shirts, but yeah. So they go, and then Mbenga hasn't even been pinned against the wall yet, has he? Because this is where the magnetic steel on their little table malfunctions.
This is one of my nitpicks of the episode, and it's kind of a big one. Go ahead, finish this scene out.
Well, yeah, like the tables, the magnetic lock safety thing fails. The table slides against the wall, and Mbenga, in a very heroic effort here, he pushes Chapel out of the way. but gets pinned against the wall here, and he's looking pretty hurt.
Very signs like.
Yeah, that table hurts. It's heavy. It's got a lot of medical stuffy in it. Like, if you're gonna get injured, is there any better place than sickbay? Like, in this situation.
Sometimes they can't be healed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay. We've seen this ship get knocked around bad. People get tossed around the bridge all the time. Every starship and every Star Trek episode, if they're in a fight, they get rocked around like crazy. You're telling me when the engineers were putting this thing together, they didn't decide that a few hex bolts for a table was a better idea than a magnetic field to hold a table down?
like, hey, what happens if the power fails on this table? Whoa, then it's gonna go flying. Oh, well, that would be good. Why is he bleeding? Does anyone understand this?
Because I'm pretty sure, like, when the table hit him, it not only compresses against that bulkhead in the center, but it's tearing skin and muscle and flesh, and it's you're gonna get screwed up bad. And
But
so
like,
it's
what? Like, I don't understand what broke his. Like, I imagine like this would hurt and it would be a huge contusion, but like, I don't think it would necessarily puncture your skin. Unless there's something sharp.
Unless it's a sharp edge. But like it really reminded me of the movie Signs, where remember the woman, the wife of the minister there was crushed against a tree. Same thing. And you don't know. I mean, if the thing is that heavy, and she was having trouble moving it too when she finally released it. But
I mean, skin itself is not that tough. It only takes like less than 5 pounds of pressure to break skin. So that thing was flying at him. I mean, it had some speed going on there, and plus it's hitting just a mass of just soft tissue right there. There's not a lot of bones or anything. Like, the ribs don't go down quite that far. So like, just the impact would probably break the skin open enough that he would start bleeding out. I think besides the magnetic thing, I think it's a realistic injury.
All right, I'll take your word for it, Jim. All right. So anyway, this is at the 40-minute mark as we're counting down from the 47 minutes we started at. And then Omega's pinned. What's Chapel going to do? The Enterprise is in the slipstream. That's our teaser for the episode. Strange New Worlds. I don't think I actually mentioned it yet, but this is the 36th episode overall of Star Trek Strange New Worlds that aired today, August 27th, and written by Bill Wolkoff and directed by Dan Liu. So we the credits erased 2 more minutes? I guess the 2 minutes of the credits mattered because we're picking up at 30 minutes and 22 seconds as we're getting this split screen, the first like real use of the split screen, starting here with the bridge. Erica takes control with Pike out of commission, with Uhura present, but there's no comms on the whole ship yet. Like, they can't talk to anyone else, or maybe they establish with Una first. Down in the port lounge.
That reminds me, from last week, you were asking about the continuity on the chair. They switched the chair back.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, they switched the chair back.
It makes the puppet episode even worse. Like, because okay, so we saw the new chair get installed last week, and that actually happened.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, Puppet Pike decided, no, I want my old chair back. But since it didn't happen, why did the chair go back?
Yeah.
And I know that the chair was only there for the puppeteer to be able to go inside of it, but anyway.
One thing that I liked about this scene too is like Ortega is always like this, wisecracking helms person, and in this scene, you saw leadership, you saw her take control. It was good to see that she has that.
Yeah, she had a good moment here, I thought, in terms of this, taking command of the bridge. Not normally an authority figure in the crew. So that was good for her. Only Uhura is like one of the only people who's like a lower rank than her. So makes sense. They're talking to Una down in the lounge, and they're stuck here. So it's Spock, Una, and La'an basically in the port lounge, along with Boyce and some other civilians. And they're figuring out that they're stuck inside of this radiation field, and they won't be able to get out. And they're kind of screwed. I think is mainly the substance of this conversation.
This is when the concept of the warp threshold really hits home, and where they explain it, which I like a lot better than Voyager's explanation.
True. Me too. And they said, don't worry, Scotty's probably finding his way to the bridge right now. And then we cut over to Scotty, who's stuck in that turbolift still. Can't get out. He's just locked in there. But he's saved by the Vulcan cadet, whose name I forget.
My favorite character of all time.
Yeah, she's we met her in episode 1. She's like meant to kind of shadow Uhura this season or at this time, and but here she's paired up with Scotty instead, being her most Vulcan self, so they decide that they're going to go to the transporter room next, because that's probably the one way to get to another part of the ship to try to affect change. But Scotty's also figuring out all these other problems. What did you guys think of the dynamic between Scotty and the Vulcan cadet?
She was less annoying in this role tonight. Like there was a crisis, she stood up and she was able to manage. Her name's Cadet Asha.
Asha.
She is a terrible Starfleet cadet,
but she's smart.
She's smart, but she's got a lot of attitude.
There's a line that she says here in a little bit that immediately.
Oh, let me guess. Not my job.
Yeah, that's the fucking line.
Yeah.
If that made me want to jump into the TV screen and slap the crap out of her.
But she recovered. She did recover.
Is this because she's Vulcan or because she's young?
Because she's an idiot. Okay. No. Okay.
She's a millennial.
No, she's probably a Zoomer.
Yeah, she's probably, yes.
Scott, I don't know if I think it's the next scene with them, but
anyway, we'll come away from them, because at the 35-minute mark, we go back to sick bay, where Chapel has done the scan on Mbenga to see how bad the damage is from being pinned against the table. Long story short, it's bad. His spinal cord has been severed, I believe. Like he's basically paralyzed from the waist down. And his vital organs have been pinned against this table.
Yeah.
So I have some interesting fun facts about that kind of injury to talk about.
Okay. But point is, like he should almost be dead already, but his organs are being held in place by the table. So if they try to move the table, he's gonna die almost instantly. So they can't even move him. I mean her, because it's just Chapel.
I can't remember the scanner said that the spine was severed, or if it was just so
crushed.
Crushed.
Was it crushed?
Yeah, it was crushed.
Okay.
Yeah, and he says, I can still feel my legs, and she goes, it's probably phantom feelings,
phantom
right?
pain,
phantom limbs, Anyway, but she doesn't tell him the truth about how bad the scan shows his condition is, how poor the outlook is of him surviving this is, and she's like, I don't know, the computer's dead, who's to say? Like, we'll have to figure this out, right? So she's not willing to tell him. They're both medical officers, but they are both, I don't know, they got this friendship between them that's central to the episode as well. And medical officers often make the worst patients, whether they're nurses or doctors.
I think he did a great job in this scene, because you really feel like he is traumatized by it, but doesn't understand exactly how bad.
Yeah, for sure. Like
traumatized, but I don't know if it's right here. I think he knows exactly how bad it is just from observations, because eventually he's basically like, look, we both know what's going on. There's no point in trying to make an effort. Just go,
Well, that comes, they'll
that does come later, but
they'll have a lot of back and forth. That hasn't quite happened yet. So back to the port lounge, where we see that the gravity field starts malfunctioning. And at first I was kind of confused about what was going on. We see glasses and bottles on the floor start to break, I guess from the increased gravity and G-forces. So they start to move the crew to, like, I guess towards the entrance, because even the piano's being affected and everything else. And this is where we first meet Dr. Boyce. on screen for the and as I mentioned, he's got that pin next to his comm badge there, or it's not comm badge, it's just a badge.
Very similar to Peleus.
Yeah, but it's not the same as Peleus. It almost looks like, I think it's the United Earth emblem is what it is, and I don't know if he was serving on Earth or something like that, but because I think that Peleus' emblem is supposed to be for her being a Lathrunite, right? So
no, I thought that emblem was because she was teaching at the academy.
Oh, maybe it's some kind of a, but like, don't you think that looks like Earth?
It does.
It does.
Yeah, it does look like Earth.
Look, there's Lake Ontario.
There it is. So anyway, so he's present here. They decide that they have to go to the other side of the room. It's by them I mean Spock, La'an, and Una. They need to go to the other side of the room to turn off the malfunctioning gravity plating, but they got to go to like the strong end where the G forces are super strong. And Una decides to put this on herself, that she, her genetically modified physiology might be able to withstand this more than the others.
So I thought this was a great scene. There was a Star Trek book I read years ago, my gosh, Chekhov and Sulu were captured by Orions, and Orions have a different threshold for gravity, but the Orions were basically controlling them by increasing the gravity, and they described human bones as hollow and so weak that they would just crush or snap with the increased gravity field. So I was waiting for something to happen, and they delivered.
Yeah, well, Una's going along, and she's just like yelling in pain as like the gravitational forces go up and up. And
don't show it. I'm sorry. This isn't a nitpick. This is like a me thing. You had to get a screenshot of it. You had to.
I was just waiting for you to look at it.
I got a thing about broken bones. I broke my arm when I was younger, and ever since then, I can't stand. Even in a movie, I can't stand broken bones. And when that happened, I like kicked the air, and I leaned back in my chair,
this is a broken bone that punctures the skin.
It's so much worse. It's like
compound fracture. It was nasty.
Oh yeah, not good. But she does it. She and she lets out the screams and everything else. But she gets to the and saves her. And then luckily there's another doctor present there to help her. Back to Scotty, who's with the cadet still. They're still trying to get the transporter working. I don't know, they're doing their stuff here, and she eventually says, "Okay, I'll beam you over to the Jeffries tube to try to see if you can fix that." Even though I've never had any transporter training before.
Just move the sliders up.
Yeah.
But they haven't even. First, this is the scene where she says, "Why don't you just turn off the life support in the different parts of the ship, because they don't have enough power to fix the ship or certain systems on the ship." So by turning off the life support in like the corridors and like the uninhabited sections of the ship, that they can save way more power. So everyone starts going into the different sections, into quarters, sick bay. In this case, we go to Chapel, who tries to close the door, but something malfunctions with the sick bay doors.
That was a scene where Scotty's like, "Hey, can you patch me into the bridge?" And she goes, that's Uhura's job. I'm like, you're a cadet. Follow orders. He outranks you. Why are you making a comment like that?
Right.
She should not be in Starfleet.
Well, she's not yet. Anyway, so or she's not an officer at least. Okay, so Chapel, once they do that whole thing where they take the power away from the corridors, Chapel is able to finally call Boyce. And he gets on the call with Boyce. She's like, "Well, I got a bit of a condition here," and she doesn't even say it's in Benga right away, but he sends it over. Or she sends it over to Boyce's pad, and he's like, "This is bad. Like, he's gonna die. Like, I need you here helping me." And like, Mbega's gonna die. I am now the chief medical officer, so I am ordering you to come out here. And she decides to disobey that order. Again,
you're breaking up.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you, Dr. Boyce. We already, we established from the earlier scene that she's not the biggest fan of him anyway. But like I can't say that he's completely in the wrong here because
Yeah.
they are having a shipboard disaster and she does need her. And
Yeah, but I mean, and he's also trying to get her there before the corridor is run out of life support.
right, because
Yeah.
she won't be able to move once that happens. So, but
It-
she decides not to leave him because he'd have to die alone, which would be pretty cold and heartless. But from a triage point of view,
you can see the situation from both sides, and I actually kind of have a hard time agreeing with one or the other because I can completely understand both points of view. Boyce is taking it from a professional, like logical,
he's thinking
standpoint.
needs of the many, and she's thinking needs of the few, or the one, or the my friend who's in front of me, or just another human being who's in front of me, and and he's about to die, and like, am I going to let him die? Not trying to save him. So she ultimately does not go, and this is where Mbenga confronts her. Like, how bad is it really? I don't think she tells him right here. Quickly, Scotty beams over to the thing, or.
Oh,
So
they
launched the probe
probe
first, right? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I forgot.
to extend the sensors,
but it doesn't work. They ended up screwing up things more. So they end up screwing up what sensors they do have in the process. So then, 24 minutes left at this point. This is where Mbenga's getting this is where he finds out about the truth about how bad it is, and he was like, "You should have left me. You should go over to basically everything Boyce said to do. At least what he should do." And then he starts trying to move the table on his own. Has that happened yet?
No, this is it. Yeah.
He starts trying to move the table so he'll die, so that she'll leave him. And he's screaming in pain, and and eventually he decides, maybe I don't want to die, but he's struggling with the situation, and he's grateful that she's there, but he's also mad that she's there in a way. So, that we see that the door on sick base it's like one of the few doors that does breach. So I guess the atmosphere from outside is coming in or something. It's very cold. And
this was one of the things I actually had a legit. I questioned it, but I'm not 100% sure because with the door broken like that, he says it's going to get to minus 400 degrees
Celsius, which is very and minus 400 Celsius, I think, is the same as 400 Fahrenheit. But
but I'm like, they said that they removed life support, which means no air pumping through, and no heat, right? But even with the ambient materials in the ship, the ambient heat retention in the ship, would it really get that cold?
I guess it depends where you are and how cold it is there, right? So maybe in a slipstream, yes. I don't know. So
maybe, and I don't have an answer for it, and that's why
is it absolute zero, minus 425 or something? So
I do not know, not off the top of my head, but I'm I was kind of questioning how cold it's going to get in this room with so much metal basically around them.
Well, don't worry, they have a lot of Kevlar that to stay warm.
Right.
Mylar, not even Kevlar. Mylar. Mylar is what we make our shin pads out of in ball hockey. I don't think it would really save you. But I don't know.
Mylar, space blankets. It's that the same stuff that they put in the the Apollo capsules and stuff, right?
I think so. So it will help, but whatever else. Okay, then we go over here at the 22-minute mark over to Pelia, who's trapped in her quarters. Scotty's able to reestablish communications with Pelia, of course, the chief engineer.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see a really good examination of her quarters. Let's see it all.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in there. All the things she's collected.
So
we haven't seen a ton of Pelia mentoring Scotty, and I think this was a good episode for that.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
and trying to help him think outside the box because she's kind of stuck in her quarters and there's nothing that she can really do other than talk to
Well,
him.
he starts going down. Is he in the Jeffries tube yet?
No, that's in just a little bit, like a couple.
But he's mad that the ship didn't warn. He's having like a crisis of faith almost with the ship itself. The ship is.
Well, he's getting PTSD from the episode that he was introduced in, which was the Star Diver or the Sun Diver.
Because Star Diver was his ship,
because it was destroyed by the Gorn.
It's the Gorn.
Thank you. But yeah, he's having that PTSD style, same feelings and dread coming up again with it. And so, I mean, I can understand that. And yeah, Pelia trying to talk him through it. It is a good dynamic between the two.
Well, I think it's interesting that he's having no faith in the ship, right? And then he by the end of it, he's like fully embraced the Enterprise, right? Like, and it's all together. So this is where he gets beamed. Scotty gets beamed over to the Jeffries tube. So after he materializes, like I think the whole Jeffries tube below him collapses, right?
I don't know if it collapses or
seals him in.
Yeah, basically.
Right. So he's stuck there now after the one beam of transporter, back to Chapel and then Benga as she's put on some winter Mylar. And this is where Chapel is pitching her heavy neutrino idea.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to save you. Right. He's like, this is theoretical and like super. A Hail Mary would be a good way of describing it. But like, what else does Chapel have? Like, he's basically dead already unless there's a miracle cure, which is what this would be. And he can't run away, so she, she's like, you're the best patient ever. I can just present these ideas to you, and you can't run. So anyway, back to Scotty, who is fixing. He has to. So the idea was that they were going to use the ion pod, which I thought was also an interesting thing they brought into this episode. Because if you guys remember the original series episode Court Martial, which is where Kirk will go on court martial because Lieutenant Commander, I forget his name, but it was like this old friend of Kirk had died. Because the idea with the ion pod is that it allows you to go through ion storms, even though that's not what they're in right now, right? Mm-hmm. It allows you to be able to use sensors and get through an ion storm. But if like you don't jettison the pod in time, you can destroy the entire ship. So like there's a risk to the pilot inside of the ion pod, and of course the crew, the captain, who has to decide whether to cut that cord. And in that episode, Kirk seems to not cut the cord on the guy, but actually the guy faked his death, and it's a whole thing. So go watch that episode. But anyway, that was about bringing. So they brought the whole ion pod back from that episode into this one, which I thought was clever and interesting. That they're going to modify it in order to. It's not an ion storm, but they can at least see a little bit further ahead of them, without any sensors. So that's what Scotty is modifying here in the Jeffries tube.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I forgot to mention Pike is no longer unconscious. He's taking command of the bridge again. He's just wrapped up his hand from the electrocution. I think his hair should have been standing up more stone, but
go full Doc Brown.
Go full Doc Brown. That would have been good. Okay, and then Chapel. This is where she pitches the neutrino theta variant. There are these theoretical heavy neutrinos that we can use to treat Mbenga's condition, and also because they're out of deuterium, and which is basically like the gasoline of starships.
Yeah.
Like they are out of that, and they can synthesize more with these neutrinos as well if they throw them into the Bussard collectors.
Yeah. The way they describe it, it's like heavy neutrinos are like stem cells. Like you throw them into something, and they just copy and repeat themselves and create more of whatever you throw them on.
Yeah, but I really need a scientist, because the idea that would do anything to cells and to biological molecule. I don't know. Like it seems far fetched to me, but okay.
So
But
is
that's
warp
fine.
drive, by the way.
So is warp drive, by the way.
Well,
But I'm used to warp drive. I'm not used to miracle cures. From
We just need to get you used to this. Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is how much suspension of disbelief are we allowed to have with something this?
Well,
God,
I like it personally. I prefer it when they take something from true world science or something theoretical. Like if this is a true theoretical,
There is,
out
Dave. There's a ton of data, like not data, but a ton of articles on this. Like just
about it being a miracle cure for people
no,
with like crushed
just saying
minds.
about. I can't even get into it. I mean, it's
Okay.
just there's so much. I try to get a really simple explanation, but nothing's coming through a simplicity.
Okay. Well, I get it's a TV show. Don't overthink it, Dave. But anyway, this seems to be like the move they need. But in order to do that, they have to get to the ion pod, and someone is going to have to do a spacewalk on the outside of the ship. And Spock gets told to do this because a Vulcan would have the best chance of doing this physiologically. Maybe you should have used that cadet though. She's full Vulcan and Spock's only half Vulcan, so she might be a little bit more resistant. Just saying. This was really cool. Spock trying to do a spacewalk on the Enterprise at warp inside of a slipstream.
Admittedly, it is a cool little sequence. I do have questions about what the hell was hitting him in the spacesuit.
But it wasn't not enough to like dislodge him. Just enough to, like, hit him and then burn off, right? So it's whatever's inside of the slipstream, but presumably that's hitting you at a very fast force. So.
Well, I mean, you got to believe that would be like dust and crap.
I guess there's dust, particles, all kinds of things, right?
But and like the warp bubble, the warp field like protects the ship, and the deflector dish protects the ship from all that interstellar dust and stuff, right?
Right.
So,
but I guess and I guess the hull of the ship to a certain extent does too.
I guess.
But Spock is less protected out there, so he's also getting exposed to a lot of radiation at this time. But he almost falls off at one point. But he does eventually get into the ion pod and starts doing his thing. The pod transceiver starts to overheat, and they can't talk to Spock. And now it's like they're kind of doing that moment in the episode Court Martial. What will Pike do? Will he jettison the pod, or will he wait to see if the crewman will live? And Erica is the one on here on the bridge saying, if you let that pod blow up while it's attached to the Enterprise, you're going to blow up the saucer section, basically, and destroy the ship. So like it's again, a needs of the many versus the needs of the one sort of scenario. Spock can't be reached, and it comes down to the final minute, and Pike waits as long as he can, but he eventually decides to jettison the pod.
I like how actually, like Kirk, he took responsibility and did it himself.
Yeah.
Well, apparently this is a procedure, because anytime you run into an ion storm, you have to put a pilot in this pod, and there's that chance you might have to, cut the tether, right? So it's always, I think, up to the captain. Captains are trained for this kind of scenario.
So the ion pod is used to guide the ship through ion storms, like a lead vessel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like what they, I remember how they used like the Delta Flyer in that other Slipstream episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same idea, but it's attached to the ship, right? It's not a separate ship.
Okay.
So they jettison the pod. They think with Spock, it's still inside of it, and it is destroyed in the Slipstream here. And so they think Spock's gone. What are they gonna do? What about the data? Because really, they need the data too, because that's all part of figuring out what these neutrinos. So they seem even more screwed. Down in the port lounge, we got La'an and Una talking with 12 minutes left until they hit the warp threshold and they'll disintegrate. And La'an wants to go after Spock, saying it should have been me to go in the first place because I'm not as valuable as Spock. And Una's like, I won't even dignify that with response. But someone has to go after Spock or after the data.
Do you remember in Starfleet Academy where we saw the deltas everywhere? Like all through the. Go back to you. One more. Look at the wallpaper or whatever over there. Behind.
Yeah. Well, they put it in everything, even the underwear. So anyway, Back to Scotty, who is talking to Pelia about the origin of lemons and lemonade at this point, which I thought was a funny scene because Pelia being Lathronite was there, I guess, when lemonade was invented in India like thousands of years ago.
Virginder did it for her.
Virginder. Yeah. She was a nice Indian lady.
As
was
much
it even called India yet? Like, but okay. Sure.
Hey Dave, take a look at EJR's comment.
EJR. Okay, what do you say? Probably the main thing I enjoyed about this episode is how competent everyone was doing at their jobs. And I agree. I think that's what we want to see from Starfleet officers. You know, I know you want conflict, and this episode does a good job of giving them situational conflict, and it's minimal interpersonal conflict. I guess that mostly amplified with Mbenga and Chapel in this episode, but you know,
what's up with the comment from Sparky?
What do you say? Not up to Muppets episode yet. Stuck out.
That was last week.
Yeah, we're up to it. We're past it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like, but Pelia is basically talking to Scotty over the comm, trying to get his mind off of obsession and like the focus on the problem. You know, she's able to plug this little hull breach in her quarters with like a little piece of tape. And
yeah,
I don't know. She kind of, you know, turning lemons into lemonade, which she kind of says is a stupid saying because
when life gives you lemons, which is, you know, BS because we made lemons.
Life didn't give us lemons. We gave ourselves lemons.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of what her pitch is here.
And of course, as soon as she started saying that, I immediately jumped to Portal 2 with the Cave Johnson rant about lemons. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I don't think so.
I don't want your damn lemons.
But the main thing here is that, like, Pelia is trying to say to Scotty, like, every ship has got like a nuance to it. Every ship has got like creaks and has issues, and you got to work through them. You know, like that's
you gotta listen. You gotta listen.
You gotta listen to the ship.
Yeah,
you know, because she listened to that hull breach and she plugged it with a piece of tape. And then...
But that was kind of cool because, you know, when you go to Relics, where Scotty was describing, you could tell how fast the ship was going by the vibration on the decks.
Yeah.
You know, so he got there.
Well, yeah, and even like she even says you got to be a miracle worker. Like, this idea of being a miracle worker is seemingly like fabricated by Pelia, right? Like in this conversation.
This is the first time that they've mentioned miracle worker with Scotty, right?
Yeah. So chronologically speaking, this seems to be the origin of that term.
Yeah.
But she's also, sorry, Jim. She's also like enjoying this mentorship. You could see. I thought this was a great interaction between the two.
Yeah, and it, like, as much as Pelia annoys me, I mean, like, I think me and Worldmind are on the same page on that one. This was a good scene. I can't lie.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah,
for sure. I was with it. Back to sickbay. So this is where Chapel is talking to Mbenga about her plan to freeze him to death in order to save him. So she's going to open the door. So she's all bundled up. He has no protection from this room becoming colder and colder.
You're going to be, when we get to the fun facts, you're going to be I've got it broken down too. Like the injury versus the freezing. Okay, so we're gonna be
boy. Like he says it will eventually get to minus 400 in here. Like, I'm pretty sure a human cannot survive in less than like minus 50 or maybe minus 100. Like, but like there's no, like, you get down to minus 400, you're like, I don't care how many coats you have on, you're not going to make it. So but this was her pitch. Like, okay, we're going to let you freeze to death. And I don't think we're at the joke part yet where she's like, tell me a joke, but you know, they're working out some of their issues. I think their interpersonal issues as well in this conversation. Because their plan was to get him on a biobed, but then all the biobeds start malfunctioning in this moment, right? And she gets out an axe and she busts into the wall, and she pulls that power cord to power a biobed. Like she was going for it.
She hit the fuck it moment. Just okay, we're gonna do this. Yeah,
like no stopping Chapel, basically.
I wish I could have an extension cord, like that one. Looked pretty good.
Yeah. So 8 minutes left before doom. We see La'an is now on the spacewalk outside the Enterprise trying to find Spock.
This looks so great. Like that's like right there, that shot,
Yeah.
like being outside the ship. And then, yes, I mean, it was weird, but the things flicking off their faceplate, and it was great. I love, like, this scene was fantastic. The whole episode looks so great.
It looked great. Yeah, it was one of the visually the best, I think. She gets to where the ion pod housing would be, and of course the pod had been jettisoned. But who does she find inside is Spock. He's still alive. So somehow he was not inside the pod when it was jettisoned. He has suffered severe radiation sickness. You can see that he's got these lesions all over his face inside the ship. Yeah, but he's unconscious. But there is a memory disk there that has like the data that was collected earlier, so it's not in vain, and La'an can get Spock back to the ship, right?
Yeah, all the radiation makeup very, very Wrath of Khan-esque, which I did appreciate that a bit. It's good makeup effects.
No, ultimately radiation is what will kill him.
Yeah,
before his eventual resurrection. And then his other, when he dies in like Star Trek Into Darkness, does he just die of old age? I think that's right.
Oh yeah, or
they don't say why. They just say he's passed.
He died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is the power cord that Chapel ran across, like with the fiber optic cable into the bio bed, and this is where she this is like the final moment before she's going to try to freeze Joseph to death, and then revive his heart and hit him with the neutrinos, like all these plans. And so she's like, tell me a joke before we go into this, right? Just to get going, and tell me your favorite joke. I pulled up the subtitles here, so we would have it. So an Aquan, I don't know what an Aquan is, but I guess a species. So an Aquan was invited to a Lathranite's birthday party, and he has to bring a gift. I also brought up the subtitles because it's Mbenga and he whispers all the time. So he decided to present her with a Benzar turtle, which I thought was fun. The Aquan explains the turtle is special. It lives 20,000 years. And meanwhile, Chapel is like getting ready. She's opening the door. The freezing's coming in. The Lathranite sighs and says, "Pets, you love them." And then ice cracking. So we don't get to hear the end of the joke. And at that moment, the freezing comes in. Chapel somehow protecting herself with just this oxygen mask, but her eyes, like, alone, right? But anyway, suspend disbelief.
Right.
And Mbenga dies, frozen to death in the next moment here as the atmosphere fills the sickbay. With 4 minutes left, they get the word that the temperature fluctuations are going on. We see La'an and Spock come into the port lounge. Spock is alive, but he can't talk because of the radiation sickness. He immediately starts like puking up here. They have the memory disk, but it's going to take them hours to get the readings off of it. What are they going to do?
So, again, great scene. You get the idea how sick he is. Like, in Wrath of Khan, yes, Spock was injured. We knew that. But it did, looking back, I don't think it went far enough to show how injured he was.
Well, he died.
Saying. Yeah, but in 1984, I mean, they couldn't do a lot of what they do today. And but if you guys watch Chernobyl, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like, and see how fast those people got sick, and like this is what this is, and it's amazing how well they did this.
Yeah. He's like puking up blood and shit.
Yeah, green blood, of course.
Of course.
So he's got the radiation sickness. He can't talk, but he did get some data. So he decides to give it to La'an via mind meld.
No, La'an forces him to give it to her.
Yeah,
a phrase I never thought I would say. Wow.
So you can do it. So you can do it through a glove. You don't need to be. Okay. Just checking.
The radiation's helping.
Although Spock did mind meld with V'ger with his so I guess. Anyway, so now she knows I've been mind melded. So she gives that data up to the bridge. This is where we see in sickbay that's freezing over. They're moving the table over, or Chapel. I'm not they. She's doing this all herself, trying to save Joseph. her finger gets stuck, and I noticed that like she didn't have any protection for her fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, I like someone who's dealt with many Canadian winters. I'm like, those are the first things that get cold, man. Like, you know, not the last. But you know, her finger sticks and breaks right off because it's just from touching that surface.
It's like putting your tongue on there.
Yeah, don't like a Christmas Story or something.
Yeah, I've seen A Christmas Story. I know how this ends.
So she's got no finger, but in this world they can grow you back new limbs, I guess, and fingers and digits. So it's all good.
It's just a flesh wound.
This is like the whole climax here with Scotty and like the ship. You know, like what can they do? Can they get the neutrinos in time? They're not going to have enough time. And Scotty, listening to Pelia's earlier advice, believes in the ship. He touches the ship and he has faith in the hull of the Enterprise. It will hold. The ship will hold. And they'll be able to get through this. Just wait for it to happen, for the data to upload and for everything to come. And the neutrinos are going to come.
Yeah, this is when they're trying to cycle the neutrinos into like the Bassard collectors, and hopefully they get these heavy neutrinos, and like everything all has to happen at the right time. And yeah, it's
right. And it does. Luckily, in the nick of time, it does, because Scotty said, "Have faith, everyone," and everyone's like, "Okay." Pike listened to Scotty, and it worked out, because then we see that the ship is able to pull in these particles, neutrinos, and it goes right into Chapel's little gun thing here that she has hooked up to the neutrinos. I guess
she just hoses them down,
with the neutrinos. You know, it's all good. They'll heal his crushed spine and everything else. I guess he's frozen to the wall, but like the amount of damage that's being done to his body with this cold is immense. But I guess they got neutrinos to cure that all. So anyway, so the power. So then we see, like with neutrinos and everything else, they're able to fill up the deuterium, the gas tanks. Main power comes back, and now they can finally break with just 2 seconds left until imminent doom. They can break out of this slipstream field with the power and not disintegrate. So that
I loved how they came out of this.
Yeah,
I did have like it looks like they're trying to fly out of jello, like just a little bit, like it kind of like undulates.
Well, I mean, it basically says this is flexible, and it's not. You just don't, burst through a wall. You got to push your way out of it.
Yeah.
Like what? And then they're able to go to conventional warp and get out of there, basically. Like what I would have liked is actually if they were now pretty far away from Federation space and they have to make their way back. Like not Voyager style, but like,
yeah, it would have been cool to know how far they actually went.
Yeah, but so they're just like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to turn around and head out, but we don't really get a sense of how far they've traveled. But they would have had to have traveled some distance, because they were going like maximum warp for like at least an hour.
They're going past maximum warp.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're out, and big sigh of relief. They can, they're out of the disaster. The disaster is averted. While Chapel hosing them down with the things, the main power comes back here in sick bay. She didn't even need that bio bed ultimately, it seems, I guess. But Scotty's able to beam out of the Jeffries tube. Thanks, Cadet. And he's feeling the ship. He's got the faith back in the Enterprise. He believes in it. And then Pelia's there, having a vibe moment here with Scotty, also touching the ship. They're a couple engineers just touching ships. Sure.
Okay. Wholesome.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to sick bay for our final scene. Chapel wakes up a little frosty, but she's otherwise okay. Looks over to the next bio bed, and Mbenga is alive. He's not dead. He's got a nice little towel on his head, coming out of it. We see Captain Pike comes to visit Chapel, thanks her for this whole neutrino idea. Like, you saved the ship, you saved everyone, you saved Mbenga, you're the best. And she asks, I think I'm ready for a permanent post here on the ship. She's like, well, he's like, I thought you would leave with Mbenga. If he leaves the ship, I assumed you would go with him. And she goes, maybe not. Maybe I want to be an Enterprise person now. They're ready to not have one foot out the door, like Mbenga said. And he's like, okay, sure, whatever, cool. I'll put it in. And thanks, Captain. And then she goes over to have a kind of moment here with Mbenga. Did we get the end of the joke?
Yeah.
What was it? What was the gift?
The end of the joke was pets, you love them, and then they die on you because the turtle lived for 20,000 years. Then it was a lanthanite.
Oh, it's a You're giving a 20 like a turtle that lives for 20,000 years to a lanthanite.
Yeah.
Who lives well beyond that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And
it's not a great joke.
It's not a great joke.
No.
It's a doctor joke, I guess. So anyway, so that's the end of the episode, basically, as we pull out of sick bay and get to credits. So.
And we'll never mention the heavy neutrinos again.
Oh, we will.
We will.
Like, anytime somebody is like critically injured, I'm like, why don't you get some heavy neutrinos? Like,
yeah.
Well, you can't get them that easy, guys. You gotta go find them. You gotta go back in that slipstream.
If it's like a miracle cure to cure everything that ails you, it might be worth it.
It's going to be the interstellar like Bucky's now. Like, you need to fill up? Yeah, just jump into the Bucky stream.
All right, but you know what I need is some fun facts from Mr. Adam. Let's do it and get to the bottom of all what we missed in this episode.
Here's an interesting piece of trivia. A multi-steroid injection is put into the shoe, making sure it's strong enough to support the 400-pound weight brought on by the average American.
Well, all right. You're up, Adam. Sorry, yeah. You're both muted. I don't know. That's a glitch.
Let's get on with this. So this is one of the most formally experimental episodes the series has ever done, because it really melds a disaster movie with it's typical science fiction that they typically do. I don't know why it's experimental, why they consider it, but they do.
Maybe like the split screen stuff, maybe. But
maybe
experimental for Strange New Worlds. Yeah,
yes.
I guess.
I don't really know, because I think this is Star Trek at its best when they do a disaster like this. Some of my favorite Next Gen episodes are when
like disaster.
Yeah. This episode was pitched as the Poseidon Adventure in space. I like it. I like that.
Why Poseidon Adventure? I'm not sure.
Well, Poseidon Adventure was about a boat.
Yeah.
This Poseidon that was flipped over. And the crew, or not the survivors, had to make their way to the hull, which was on the surface, and they were working their way up the ship to the bottom of it, really. And in the original version, there was only 7 survivors on this great big cruise ship.
And then the remake had Kurt Russell in it, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. Like the original with who was in that? Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine was in that. Stella Stevens. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Shelley Winters. Yeah, really good movie.
I really do like that one, the original.
Yeah, me too. So the Poseidon Adventure in space. It was the Enterprise trapped in a catastrophic anomaly where they had this crew scattered across the ship and working together to get out. This is the first episode to use real-time storytelling. So Off Hour uses split screens and on-screen ticking clock inspired by 24. The Enterprise is 48 minutes before structural failure, and the episode itself runs at 55 minutes.
Yeah. So there's some time jumps there. So they never did another Star Trek episode that has real time. Ever.
Apparently not.
In all hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
Maybe not quite to this detail. I mean, I think there's been other episodes where they mention like the ticking clock kind of thing, but not so obvious, or like with a running clock in the background per se.
Okay, so believe it or not, this threat is based on real warp physics. This episode's central danger is a slipstream wormhole accelerating the ship towards destruction. It's mapped onto the, here we go, Alcubierre warp metric, a real theoretical solution into Einstein's field equations. This makes Off Hour one of the most scientifically grounded Star Trek episodes ever.
There you go.
I-
All my questions were
Well, it doesn't talk about the neutrinos. It talks about
Yeah.
the fact of the speed.
because remember I was questioning all the neutrinos, and you were like, "That seems kind of far fetched." And he was like, "So it's warp drive," but aren't you just kind of saying warp drive is not as far fetched? But potentially,
Well, according to Einstein, no.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's Alcubierre drive.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I've heard of that concept and like the idea behind like actual faster speeds in space using this theoretical drive. Yes.
well, I remember in Voyager they used a slipstream because they wanted to get there faster, so that was one of the solutions. But it never worked. It was unstable, and they had to abandon it eventually. How about those
Right.
injuries? Can you get your
I'll get there.
spine?
Just give me a few
Okay.
minutes here. Let me just go on here. Okay, Chapel's most intense scene was designed to feel lethal, and showrunner was told Chapel told Jess Bush, I want you to make believe that Mbenga is going to die in this episode, and it led to a brutal sick bay sequence where the table pins Mbenga to in a way that he literally cut him in half, usually unusual high stakes for a main character. But she had to believe he was going to die.
Right.
The split seam technique was the franchise first, and every time they've ever used that before.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
I
never did
believe
split
that.
screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about his injury. All right, I'm talking about the crush. So, can people survive in this? Yes, people can survive with injuries like Mbenga's, but only under very specific conditions. And the real-world medical risks are extremely high. His situation in off-hour maps closely to what trauma medicine calls a severe crush injury. And here's the science behind it. So what happens is that direct trauma issues. So to the body, it's called ischemia. It's where blood flow was cut off to where pressure is applied. So basically, it's keeping everything in.
Okay.
Rope perfusion injury. So where pressure is when the pressure is released, the damage issue floods from the bloodstream with toxins because the blood, I guess, isn't moving as well. There's that risk.
Yeah, the crush injury thing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's a risk of compartment syndrome where swelling inside the muscle compartments cut off circulation. And we don't talk about the legs. I mean, there wasn't much blood probably going down there. And then there's other things. But so can they survive? Yes, it's possible, but only if the compression is localized. So if the crushing force is focused on the soft tissue rather than vital organs. So I guess that being below the stomach and there's really nothing there, maybe.
Just your bowels, like the intestines and stuff.
Mbenga's injury appears to pin his lower torso and abdomen, which is dangerous but not instantly fatal if no major blood vessels aren't severed. Blood flow isn't. The next one is blood flow isn't completely cut off, so I guess it wasn't.
Yeah.
And when they release it, it's medically managed, and in this case, they use some neutrinos. Immediate critical, and then the fourth factor is that immediate critical care is available, so it has to be in place. And it says here that they should have some IV fluids. She didn't do that. They didn't monitor. Well, maybe she did monitor the kidneys, but you're really managing the shock afterwards, right?
Right. What does it say anything about if you had this injury and then you were exposed to negative 400 degrees Celsius?
Well, I want to talk about that.
Here we go.
Here we go on that. Just one moment. I'm just skipping some stuff that I do also want to talk about. So what would happen if you hit minus 400 degrees Celsius? What would it do to a body? Basically, all the water in the human body would freeze instantly. Ice crystals would form inside the cells, rupturing them immediately. This is the same as the whole thing about being ejected into space and living without a suit.
Yeah.
But I just looked it up because remember how absolute zero, right? Which is the coldest that's possible is negative 273
yes
degrees Celsius. So this is
skin
far
and
beyond
muscle
that.
would be brittle like glass. So the blood would freeze instantly, circulation would stop immediately, ice expansion would rupture blood vessels. There's no way you're living
Your
through
brain would blow up in your skull.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
neurons would freeze. Neurons in your brain would freeze instantly. All electrical activity would cease. Like they're going from the whole idea that you go into cold water and you go hyperthermic and you can be revived. This doesn't happen at this temperature.
Yeah. Like you know, I guess it's the 23rd century and they have all this amazing medical technology, but
yeah, I mean, they're saying like lungs in your airway would shatter, like, you know, like, it's not good. Fun. It's better to be pinned and crushed than going
than to be frozen to death like this temperature. But you know, hey.
So
what do I know?
It's funny, the two horrific injuries, the one that you think is worse is the one that is survivable.
Really, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm asking, like, is negative 400 degrees Celsius possible? No, it's physically impossible.
Right.
Okay. I was under the impression that absolute zero is like when like atoms stop vibrating entirely, right?
It's the absolute coldest you can make anything.
Right. So there is no like atoms and electrons, they're moving less when they're cold, but absolute zero is like when they stop. But absolute zero, you can't get any colder than that. So yeah,
absolute zero is the limit on how cold anything can get.
Yeah, so the math doesn't work out at all. So yeah, you're fucked no matter what.
Maybe in a slipstream it's negative 400 degrees Celsius. We've never been inside one, so who knows? But
okay, so let's talk about Brian Markinson. He's one of those quiet legends of Starfleet, an actor you've seen in multiple years and eras of franchise, but he played 6 characters over his time there. So he played Vorin, a pre-warp Borrelian in Next Generation Homeward. Lieutenant Pete Durst, a Voyager officer in Voyager, in Cathexis and Faces. Sulon, a Vidian surgeon who steals Durst's face. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
He plays both in that. It's a great episode.
It is a great episode. He plays Elias Geiger and the eccentric inventor of the cellular regeneration and entertainment chamber in Deep Space Nine in the cards.
Yes. The soulless minions of orthodoxy.
That's right. Sorry, 5 characters. Right. And Dr. Phil Boyce, a rebooted version of Pike's original Doctor in Strange New Worlds. So he's one of the most multicasted actors in Trek history. Who's the most, Dave?
Lon Chaney?
No, in Star Trek. Jeffrey Combs.
I was going for Clint Howard, but no.
Yeah,
it would be Jeffrey Combs.
He originally, coming back to Markinson, he originally auditioned for the Doctor and Neelix in Voyager, and he's got the Doctor look a little bit, with the bald head.
He does look like a bit of a doctor,
But I don't think he could
sing. It is specially
designed
to transmit biogenic energy on a chromoelectric wavelength and send uplifting and entertaining messages to the nuclei of every cell in your body.
The baseball
you
card
have the
episode.
There.
Right, he has the Willie Mays baseball card.
Right, yes. Now the lightning bolt's there. Okay, right.
Yes.
Right, I forgot about that.
Since you are not in fact working for the soulless minions of orthodoxy.
He played a character who actually wore his own face. So he basically played it where he was, he surgically removed Durst's face and grafted it onto himself as the Vidian scientist.
Right. In order to make Klingon B'Elanna like attracted to him.
Yes. So Markinson literally acted opposite himself, wearing his own face in the episode.
Oh yeah.
He returned to Star Trek 62 years after Canon Gap as Dr. Boyce.
Okay.
And he's a sci-fi veteran beyond Trek. He's been in The X-Files, Stargate, SG-1, Battlestar Galactica, Caprica, and Blood and Chrome.
I think I remember him on Battlestar as well, yeah.
Yes, I just can't remember.
I think he was one of the Pegasus crew.
Oh, yes, he was.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. He became close friends with Robert Duncan McNeil after the show, and it was actually directed by him in Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
All right. Do you think we'll get more Dr. Boyce this season? I feel like they're gonna.
I think they have to sort of close this loop now because they've introduced him. And now Mbenga might not leave, so he came.
Okay, because we know that Mbenga is kind of still there, during original series.
In 2 episodes, right?
He's only in 2 episodes. He's not the chief medical officer anymore, so maybe he's kind of coming and going or something. But But he's not going to fully leave the Enterprise.
Okay, so little fun thing here: Markinson versus Combs, a fun trivia face-off. So, how many characters did they play? Markinson played 5. Jeffrey Combs played 9.
Oh,
And they're in that episode together with the cellular because at the end he's showing it to Jeffrey Combs. He's like, "Do you want to buy my cellular regeneration entertainment center?" And Jeffrey Combs is kind of into it.
The most disturbing role. Well, Markinson played Durst and Sulon, the video surgeon who wears his own face, and Combs played Brunt, Wayan, Shran, and others, but he never wore his own face. So I guess.
So he's like, put me on Strange New World so I can catch up to Combs. And I can go to more,
Yeah, pretty much. Combs auditioned for the role of Riker on Next Generation, and Markinson auditioned for the Doctor in Neelix.
Jeffrey Combs is Riker?
Yeah, he was originally considered for Riker.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, and Tim Russ for Jody LaForge was also considered. And who was the other one? It was somebody that was considered for Picard. I heard the other day that I was blown away by. But there's a bunch of different choices. I can't recall right now. But
the most iconic line, Markinson has voice: "You tell things to your bartender you wouldn't tell to your doctor." And he said that in the original series.
Yeah,
and
just about how different the two voices seem so far. Like
this voice does not seem like the guy to carry around a martini kit with him.
However, he was in the bar.
He was in the bar. Was he
in
serving
the bar?
drinks? That's the real question.
Because Mbenga has done that.
Yeah. Combs' most iconic line: "I'm not sure that's wise as Wayne." So
I would have assumed it would have been pink skin.
Yeah, you know what? That's my favorite role.
He was good at
you
that.
think Shran's your favorite?
He's good in everything. Like, you can't.
Yeah,
Dave, that was like a pleasure meeting, or not meeting him, but seeing him on the cruise, the Star Trek cruise. He was one of the ones.
You were there for the War of the Worlds, right?
Yeah. That was fantastic.
Because they did the War of the Worlds on stage, Jim, and he was like, he played the one of the farmers in Kate Mulgrew.
Oh, really?
Runs into him, and he was amazing. He stole the show that night.
Jeffrey Combs has been in so much. Like, he was in it's a movie called like Necronomicon, where it's a bunch of vignettes about H.P. Lovecraft stories, and he plays H.P. Lovecraft in it. But and then like Reanimator, the sequel to Reanimator. But what I love about Jeffrey Combs is that he always just is over the top enough to make it memorable. Like almost every role that he's done.
The pink skin sense of humor.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out who wrote this episode.
Bill something.
Bill, I just want to talk about him for one moment, if you indulge me here.
Sure.
Yeah, so he's a veteran genre writer whose career spans Star Trek, Star Wars, Tron, and a bunch of fantasy and animation. He's widely recognized as being blending high concept sci-fi with emotional storytelling. Exactly what we saw tonight.
Yeah.
So I got to say, he actually co-wrote Subspace Rhapsody, which he's actually proud of doing. But long and short, he is a very renowned writer and brought a lot to this episode. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, he's been on with the writing staff since season 1. Co-wrote Ghosts of Illyria. Co-wrote Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach. Also co-wrote Those Old Scientists and Subspace Rhapsody, to your point. And he also co-wrote The Salat Who Ate Its Tail and Shuttle to Kenfori.
Yeah, well, I like Shuttles again for you. I like to actually, at the time I didn't love Subspace Rhapsody, but I do now. And
by comparison. Yeah. And the other episodes, like, I really did like those episodes. They had some real weight to them. So
I think all the episodes, even including Subspace Rhapsody that we listed, I think are some of the stronger episodes of the show, actually.
Yeah.
He's also famously the guy who bikes to work wearing a tie every day. So there you go. I'm going to leave it there and let's get on to the ratings.
That's a great place to leave it. Okay, let's talk. Let's do the ratings and put a score on this episode. So wait, Worldmind already gave us a 10, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's throw that in there just to get going and start us off. Jim, would you like to start us?
Yeah, I think I can. Last few episodes, kind of a downward trend, and I am happy to say that this one brought me back to Strange New Worlds more than what a case of Chiaroscuro did. Even with my little nitpicks, it was a good episode. Really good storytelling. I will give it, screw it, a 9.
A 9 from Jim.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll give it a 9.
Okay. Adam?
Oh, it's a solid 10. It was great. Loved it right from the start.
Now, we tried to ask you about your opinion on the puppet episode on Monday. You said, don't ask me now, ask me Thursday.
What, Dave, let's just leave it here. There was some funny things in that episode. There was some really funny things that I did laugh at. However, I just think it was I hate anything dream. I woke up and it was all a dream. So it's a 3 for me.
Okay.
I feel vindicated.
Right. Well, the only one who the high mark on that episode was Shaggy, and also Jane thought it was fine. Okay, so over to me. So for me, I think this was the best episode of the series or the season so far. So I'm at a 9.
Oh right, yeah. What did you give 1? That was your highest one up until now, right?
No, I actually liked Human Best Friend, the 3rd episode on the Dave Foley planet. I thought
Dave Foley planet.
That, but I was the one who liked it the most. I guess Adam gave it a 10. So maybe the most. But
this season has really changed my I was really concerned about how things are going to go, but it's come back to me.
Even with that 3 you just gave to level 5 transporter accident, you're still averaging an 8.3 for the season, so you're still pretty high. And okay, we are averaging a 9.5, the 3 of us plus Worldmind at the moment. Let us know what your rating is in the comments. And
IMDb's got an 8 right now.
An 8 right now. Okay.
Yeah, so they really recovered out there too, and that's with 363 ratings at this point.
All right. So hey, not bad. Not bad.
So look at that though. I mean, that's the highest rating since the episode 1.
Yeah.
It's the highest.
Higher.
It's the highest rating of the season so far.
No, 8.4.
Oh, you mean the IMDb rating?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But for this podcast, technically, we'll see if the others' votes later on change anything. But right now, this is the highest episode of the season so far.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
A very rewatchable, I think. Too.
Oh, for sure.
So, okay.
I don't know about you all, but do you think with the last 4 episodes that we have with this season, do you think that they can put it back over the top a bit to a back to a good show like my opinion of the first season?
Well, maybe if they string a bunch of good episodes together, we'll see. So actually, that's a good segue. Let's look ahead. So we already know the title for episode
7.
I don't know. It's called Like the Chronotons Through the Hourglass. It's apparently okay. Here's the pitch. A temporal anomaly traps the crew inside a melodramatic soap opera reality. While the ship deals with the broadcast-style illusion, Captain Pike is forced to confront a profound emotional reckoning involving a life and future he previously lost.
Oh, so they're doing the sands through the hourglass,
These are the
days of our lives. So if we get the overacting that you see on that kind of show, I'm going to be probably disappointed. And that's clearly Spock on that table with all the green blood.
That would seem to be Spock, and that's La'an watching on. But I don't know. But the pitch almost sounds like it's maybe more of a Pike focus in the episode. I don't know. If you guys have watched Supernatural,
yeah, I watched Supernatural. Yeah,
you know I know that episode where the trickster Loki, which we find out is Gabriel's spoilers. He has them inside TV land. right?
Yeah.
Like, if you do it, you can maybe make TV Land interesting, potentially.
So listen, if they do that, like, I just hope it's not overacted. That's all I'm asking.
But that's the whole point if they're doing soap opera.
Yeah, I know.
If they do it the way that Supernatural did it, I could get behind it, because that was a real fun episode, because it was really like fourth wall breaking style humor, kind of. But I will reserve judgment. I will wait.
Dr. Sexy MD.
Dr. Sexy MD, yes.
Everyone knows what makes Dr. Sexy Dr. Sexy is the fact that he wears cowboy boots.
Hey,
So,
if the Starship Enterprise doesn't end up with a little kit back and forth laser light on the front of it, 0 out of 10. Worst episode ever.
Right. And don't ever do I wonder if I have that on the, because I'm also thinking about that mystery episode.
Oh, the mystery spot.
No, that's the other one with Loki. Whatever the one where they're in TV Land is the one I.
Channel surfing.
Channel surfing. That's it. And when we did Discovery a few years ago, there was a character from that. His name was Cockknocker, or Ballbuster. Anyway, he was on that episode. I remember we played it then. I can't find it right now. It's so many. They have so many sounds now. But yeah, Cockknocker. Anyway, that's it. Join us here on Monday nights for our Firefly reviews. We've been going through all of Firefly. We are going to be doing The Message on Monday. It's episode 12. Have a look out for that. And also just check out everything else on Live Long and Podcast and the United Federation of Podcasts. We're always doing something fun. Check out Eamon's show. Check out Hey, Did You See This One? Trivial Debates, all the rest. Anyway, I got nothing else to say, guys. If you guys are done, we can call it a night and sign off.
All right.
And we'll leave you with a parable about lemons. And we'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. If life gives you lemons, it's actually lemons that gave you life or something.
Now that is turning lemons into lemonade. Actually, you know, lemons are a hybrid. They didn't exist before us. Life never gave us lemons. We demanded them. I know. I was there. Funny story. There was this nice lady in India who made the most refreshing brunch drinks. I think her name was Hijinda. What? I'm trying to distract you. How am I doing?
You're freaking me out.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, Did You See This One? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.